Angela Bassett's unseen struggles and triumphs. Lori once exclaimed, "I gave him 2 children, and now she believes she can just take my husband?" Angela Bassett has long been celebrated as a regal force in Hollywood, well before she claimed her symbolic crown in Wakanda Forever. From her unforgettable roles in Boys and the Hood and Malcolm X, to her iconic embodiment of Tina Turner in What's Love Got to Do with It, Angela has mesmerized audiences for decades. But while she's portrayed queens and warriors on screen, her personal journey has been anything but a fairy tale. The story behind her success is marked by adversity, loss, and resilience. Here are some of the untold, heartbreaking truths about Angela Bassett's life that many may not know. Angela Bassett's painful childhood. Born in 1958 in New York City to Betty Jane and Daniel Bassett, Angela's early life was marked by instability. Her parents' marriage didn't last, leading to the family being torn apart. Even when her parents reappeared in her life, the tension and complexity of those relationships lingered. At just 10 months old, Angela was sent to live with her paternal aunt, Golden, in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Naturally, as a child, she looked to her aunt for maternal affection, but the affection was met with boundaries. Recalling the time in a 2018 People interview, Angela shared, "I always tried to call my auntie Mom. You know, as a baby, you search for Mommy and Daddy. I'd call out Mommy, but she was firm. I'm not your mommy. You have a mommy." She never tried to step into that role. Golden raised Angela until she was nearly 5, at which point Betty Jane re-entered her life and brought both Angela and her younger sister Dinette to live in St. Petersburg, Florida. But their reunion didn't instantly translate to harmony. According to Angela, her mother was highly disciplined and upheld strict standards for how her daughters should present themselves. "My mother had a lot of pride in how you carry yourself," she recalled. "She set incredibly high expectations, maybe too high. I've had people say, 'You must have had a critical mom because you're really hard on yourself.'" Despite their rocky relationship, Angela credited her mother for standing by her during one of the darkest experiences of her life, a traumatic moment involving sexual misconduct. Life in Florida was also financially challenging. Betty Jane struggled to make ends meet, and Angela remembered those years as incredibly tough. Yet through the hardship, her mother's perseverance stood out. Ironically, it was Betty Jane's flair for drama that inadvertently guided Angela toward acting. In an interview with The Guardian, she even laughed that her mother had a natural theatrical streak that might have subconsciously nudged her toward the arts. Survivor and advocate. Portraying fierce, resilient women has become one of Angela Bassett's trademarks. Off-screen, she has also used her platform to advocate for survivors and elevate critical conversations. In 2019, at the Rape Foundation's annual brunch, Angela bravely spoke about a horrifying experience from her childhood. She recalled a night when her mother's boyfriend entered her bedroom while she slept and behaved inappropriately. Fortunately, the situation didn't escalate further, but for a child, the moment was deeply traumatic. Despite the fear, young Angela mustered the courage to tell her mother. "As soon as daylight hit, I told her what happened, and she acted immediately to remove him," she said. "Knowing she listened, believed, and protected me, that was empowering. It shaped who I am as a woman." Now a mother herself, Angela has instilled in her children the importance of setting boundaries, self-respect, and the strength in speaking out. Angela Bassett's journey through higher education. Angela once dreamed of studying theater at Yale, but her aunt wasn't sold on the idea, citing concerns about stability and practicality. Swayed by her aunt's advice, Angela instead pursued a degree in African American Studies, graduating in 1980. Still, the call to perform never faded, and she later returned to Yale to follow her passion, ultimately earning a master's degree from the Yale School of Drama in 1983. "I spent 7 years there, so I really got to know the place," Angela told InStyle. Surrounded by incredibly talented peers, she often felt overwhelmed by self-doubt. "There were moments I'd stand in front of my mirror and pep talk myself. I'd say, 'Okay, how long are you going to let this eat you up? Have your pity party, then wash your face, fix your hair, and get it done.'" In 2018, Yale honored her with an honorary doctorate in fine arts. A few years later, she made history again as the first Black recipient of the Yale Undergraduate Lifetime Achievement Award, joining the ranks of George H.W. Bush, George W. Bush, and Jodie Foster. Yale didn't just provide her with academic credentials. It's also where she met her future husband, Courtney B. Vance. "That's where it all began," she told People. Climbing the Hollywood ladder. Although she's now recognized as a powerhouse talent, Angela Bassett's path to Hollywood acclaim was riddled with obstacles. In her early years, she spent countless hours auditioning, often walking away without the roles she hoped for. "I thought a big break would mean a role that forever linked my face with my name," she once said. Instead, she scraped together guest appearances on TV shows and auditions that went nowhere. Despite the setbacks, Angela remained determined. She chose roles carefully, prioritizing meaningful work over big paychecks. "I've had to protect myself from being driven by money," she told Net-a-Porter. "I can't start with, well, how much does it pay? That can't lead my decisions." This philosophy led her to pass on several major projects, including the lead in Monsters Ball, a role that ultimately went to Halle Berry. Berry's performance earned her an Oscar, but Angela had no regrets. "You can't dance to every song. Sometimes you sit a few out," she reflected, fighting for better roles in Hollywood. For decades, Angela Bassett has pushed back against stereotypical casting in Hollywood. "When I entered this industry, the path wasn't paved," she said. "It was a rarity to see people who looked like me on screen." Even after becoming a household name in the 1990s, she often found the roles lacking depth. She turned down many parts that didn't align with her values, including Monsters Ball, telling Newsweek, "Sure, I want an Oscar, but only for something I can live with." For over 30 years, she searched for a role with the complexity she craved. Eventually, it came in the form of Queen Ramonda in Wakanda Forever. "I didn't always believe it would happen," she admitted. "I'm 64 now, and after 30 years, you start wondering, when is it coming? We're running out of daylight here." As women, we're constantly looking for layered, rich characters, whether we're 28 or 68. Angela Bassett's spooky experiences and personal journey. In 2013, Angela Bassett joined the cast of the anthology series American Horror Story, making her first appearance in the show's third season, Coven, where she portrayed the formidable voodoo priestess Marie Laveau. The role required her to handle snakes, something that would make many people squirm, but she initially didn't find it too disturbing. "I had never really encountered snakes before, and they seemed like pretty silent creatures," Bassett remarked. "But that perception changed fast once one was crawling up my body and heading toward my ear. The hissing sound became very unsettling." She returned in the next season, Freak Show, taking on the role of a woman with a third breast. The part required her to wear a silicone prosthetic, which, while unusual, wasn't a major issue for her. "I was just relieved it wasn't on my face since I'm claustrophobic," she told Collider. However, she admitted the prosthetic was extremely heavy at first. Even after moving on to another Ryan Murphy project, 911, Bassett remained a fan of AHS. "I've got season 8 saved on my DVR, though I haven't had the chance to watch it yet," she shared with The Hollywood Reporter. That said, she admitted she felt a bit excluded when many of her co-stars returned for later seasons, but her character did not. Laughing, she said, "I mean seriously, where's Marie Laveau?" She confessed that she felt a little emotional about her character being left out. Angela Bassett's emotional journey to motherhood. When Angela Bassett married fellow actor Courtney B. Vance in 1997, the couple dreamed of building a life filled with love, professional success, and, above all, a family. However, their path to having children was anything but straightforward. In a 2007 appearance on The Oprah Winfrey Show, the couple shared the pain of their infertility struggles, revealing they spent 7 long years undergoing fertility treatments, filled with hope and heartbreak. Despite the many disappointments, Bassett remained determined and full of faith. "Each time it didn't work, I was devastated," she admitted to Oprah Winfrey. "But I had to keep believing, so I'd say, okay, let's try again." Eventually, a close friend confided in her about having a baby through surrogacy, inspiring Bassett and Vance to explore the same route. In 2006, their wish was finally granted when a surrogate gave birth to their fraternal twins, Bronwyn Golden and Slater Josiah. Interestingly, Vance recalled having a dream several years earlier that they would have twins. "I didn't know how or when," he told Winfrey, "but I dreamt it." Now, with two award-winning parents as role models, Bronwyn and Slater have endless potential. Bassett shared with people that her children are already showing signs of creative interests. "A little music, a little sports," she said. "But whatever they choose, I support them." Angela Bassett's children faced racism early. Angela Bassett has long used her influence to advocate for diversity and authentic representation in Hollywood. Yet despite her fame and success, her own children have encountered racism from a very young age. In a 2018 interview with People, Bassett opened up about the painful experiences her children faced, even in preschool. She was heartbroken to see that even at age 4, her kids had already dealt with racial exclusion. "It sounds unbelievable, but they were already dealing with color issues," she revealed. "Because they're African American, other kids were hesitant to play with them or had a problem with it." While Bassett had prepared herself for the day her children would experience prejudice, she never imagined it would come so early. Witnessing it firsthand was, in her words, like having your heart squeezed. Still, she chose empathy and awareness over anger. "It can't come from their own young minds," she said of the children who acted out. "They must have heard it somewhere." This deep understanding of the racial challenges that young black children face was part of what drew Bassett to powerful roles like Queen Ramonda in Black Panther. In a conversation with ESPN, she emphasized how crucial it was for children, especially black children, to see themselves portrayed with dignity and strength. "This film is about honoring our heritage and showing our daughters they are princesses, and our sons they are princes," she explained. The loss of Angela Bassett's mother. In 2014, Angela Bassett suffered a tremendous loss when her beloved mother, Betty Jane, passed away due to heart failure. Her mother's passing left a deep void, but Bassett chose to channel her grief into action. She became an advocate for awareness around heart disease and type 2 diabetes, both of which had affected her mother's health. By publicly sharing her mother's story, Bassett hoped to encourage others to take preventive health measures seriously. "I used this opportunity to honor the amazing woman my mother was, while also using my platform to spread the message," she said. As her mother's health declined, Bassett witnessed the toll chronic illnesses took on her firsthand. That experience transformed her own approach to health. "I go in for my annual checkups, and if I ever feel unsure, I don't hesitate to reach out to my doctor," she shared. "And when it comes to my kids, I'm even more protective. Sometimes I worry more about their health than my own." Angela Bassett's grief on the set of Wakanda Forever. When Black Panther premiered in 2018, it became a cultural milestone and a major box office hit. Fans looked forward to seeing more of Chadwick Boseman as King T'Challa and Angela Bassett as Queen Ramonda in the sequels. However, in August 2020, the world was shaken by the tragic news of Boseman's death. Filming Black Panther, Wakanda Forever was especially emotional for the cast, who had to process their own grief while portraying it on screen. The pain they felt was genuine. "There were real tears every day on that set," Bassett told The Hollywood Reporter. "We were sitting in the same places where we had once shared time with him, except now we knew what we didn't know then." The entire cast came together before filming to honor Boseman's memory in a deeply intimate way. "We visited his resting place together," Bassett revealed on The Kelly Clarkson Show. "It was a gorgeous day. His uncles and cousin were there, and we all took time to speak from our hearts about what he meant to us. It was really beautiful." Angela Bassett reflects on Chadwick Boseman. Although Black Panther marked the first time Angela Bassett and Chadwick Boseman worked together on screen, their connection went back many years. In 2000, Bassett visited Howard University to accept an honorary doctorate and deliver the commencement address. At the time, Boseman was a student there, and he had been assigned to escort her during her visit. Years later, he reminded her of their earlier meeting, and Bassett was deeply touched by the full circle moment. He had this regal, kind, and humble energy, she recalled. Even then, he carried himself with such grace. Their bond only deepened while working together on Black Panther. He brought such depth and dignity to his role, she said. It was an honor to play his mother and to witness the strength and silence he carried through his battles. The legacy Chadwick Boseman left behind not only shaped the film, but profoundly influenced those who worked closest with him, including Angela Bassett, who continues to carry his memory with pride and reverence. A young Chadwick Boseman, then a student at Howard University, had the unexpected honor of escorting Angela Bassett during her campus visit when she came to receive an honorary doctorate. Neither of them could have foreseen that, years later, their lives would intersect again in such a profound way. It was sort of full circle, Boseman said on Live with Kelly and Ryan while reflecting on his collaboration with Bassett in Black Panther. In a touching twist of fate, Howard University invited Boseman back in 2018 to give that year's commencement address. Throughout the filming of Black Panther, Boseman kept the memory of their first meeting private. We'd sit side by side in the makeup chairs every morning, going over our lines, fine-tuning our accents, Bassett shared on The Kelly Clarkson Show. It wasn't until the movie's premiere celebration that Boseman finally revealed their history. He's just amazing, and he reminded me of that moment, she recalled. Following Boseman's tragic death in 2020, Bassett paid tribute to him with moving words, calling him truly one of the most remarkable individuals I've ever had the privilege to know and work with. She felt drained while portraying Tina Turner. Angela Bassett's portrayal of Tina Turner in What's Love Got to Do with It marked a career milestone, demanding intense emotional and physical commitment. The film captured Turner's heartbreaking journey through abuse and her eventual triumph, and Bassett was determined to do justice to such a powerful story. She not only had to mirror Turner's fiery stage persona, but also endure scenes depicting a deeply abusive relationship with Ike Turner. During a 2023 discussion at the Santa Barbara International Film Festival, Bassett looked back on the exhaustive 3-month filming process and how director Brian Gibson pushed the cast to their limits. "I was absolutely drained after that experience," she confessed. One grueling scene, a limousine fight with Ike, required a staggering 25 hours to shoot. On top of being physically pushed, Bassett often felt that her voice wasn't heard on set, especially as a black woman. She recounted the distress of filming a violent rape scene repeatedly, feeling her concerns were dismissed. "It's such a degrading experience, doing take after take," she said. It was only when her co-star Lawrence Fishburne intervened that she was finally listened to. Lawrence would ask, "Angela, how many more times do you want to do this?" Because Brian would hear him before he heard me, she noted. He didn't take the voice of a black woman seriously, especially one just getting her big break. Despite the emotional toll, her powerful performance earned her an Academy Award nomination and secured her place among Hollywood's elite. She was visibly heartbroken over her Oscar snub. When Black Panther: Wakanda Forever premiered in 2022, Angela Bassett's performance as Queen Ramonda received widespread acclaim. Her emotional depiction of a grieving mother resonated deeply with audiences and critics, igniting hopes that she would finally win an Oscar after being first nominated in 1994 for What's Love Got to Do with It. Leading up to the 2023 Academy Awards, Bassett had already clinched wins at the Golden Globes and Critics' Choice Awards, making her a top contender. Many believed her long-awaited Oscar was imminent. But when the award for Best Supporting Actress went to Jamie Lee Curtis instead, it left fans, and Bassett herself, shocked. Her reaction went viral as viewers noted how visibly upset she appeared, remaining motionless while Curtis accepted the award. The upset sparked heated debates across social media, with many insisting Bassett's emotionally charged performance should have earned her the win. Reflecting on that night, Bassett shared her emotions during a tribute to Elvis star Austin Butler for Time's Most Influential People of 2023. "On Oscar night, with Austin sitting next to me, I knew exactly what he felt, waiting in suspense," she wrote. "So, I reached for his hand and held it gently as the winner was revealed. His name wasn't called, but that doesn't make him any less of a winner. Angela Bassett and Courtney B. Vance, a lasting love story." The love story between Angela Bassett and Courtney B. Vance began when they were both students at Yale University. At that time, however, Vance was dating someone else, and their relationship remained strictly platonic. It wasn't until nearly 14 years later, when they were both living in Los Angeles, that a romantic connection finally blossomed. I was single, he was single, and I had developed such deep respect for him over the years, Bassett told People. His integrity, the way he treats people, his supportiveness, and his passion really stood out to me. Having experienced serious relationships before, they decided to approach their own bond differently, by abstaining from intimacy until marriage. I wanted to see him for who he truly was, and I wanted him to see the same in me, Bassett explained. In 1997, the couple married in a heartfelt ceremony that marked the beginning of a relationship built on love, respect, and shared values. By 2020, they were celebrating 23 years of marriage. Bassett credits their enduring union to mutual encouragement while still allowing room for each other's individual dreams. "I think one of the most important parts of fulfilling your dreams," said Angela Bassett, "is choosing the right partner in life. Someone who shares your vision and walks with you in the same direction. This," she revealed, "was her key to a strong and lasting relationship." Angela Bassett's compassionate mission after tragedy. Following the devastating loss of her mother to heart disease, Angela Bassett found a new purpose: to help others recognize and respond to the warning signs she and her family had missed. Her mother also lived with type 2 diabetes, and it was only after her passing that the family came to understand how interconnected these two chronic illnesses, diabetes and heart disease, can be. Motivated by this realization, Bassett partnered with both the American Heart Association and the American Diabetes Association as part of their No Diabetes by Heart campaign. Serving as a public ambassador, Bassett used her platform to spread critical awareness about how type 2 diabetes dramatically increases the risk of heart disease and stroke. "I wish my family had known about this link sooner," Bassett said in a statement. "That's why I want every person living with type 2 diabetes to understand the connection and know there are steps they can take to protect themselves." Her commitment to the cause goes beyond mere advocacy. It's deeply personal. At a public event hosted by the American Heart Association, Bassett opened up about the lasting impact of her mother's death. "Losing my mother, the very person who encouraged me to follow my dreams of becoming an actress, was a powerful wake-up call," she said. "It drove me to start having serious conversations about heart health with my own family, including my Uncle Ralph, who also lives with type 2 diabetes." To extend her message further, Bassett became a key figure in the For Your Sweetheart campaign, which aimed to educate individuals with type 2 diabetes about their elevated heart risks. In a touching campaign video, she appeared alongside her Uncle Ralph, urging people not only to prioritize their own health, but to advocate for their loved ones as well by consulting their healthcare providers. Angela Bassett's massive net worth and industry impact. By the time the hit television series 911 reached its 5th season on Fox, Angela Bassett had become one of its biggest draws, and her paycheck reflected that. According to Deadline, Bassett earned an estimated $450,000 per episode, making her one of the highest-paid stars on network television. She may very well hold the title of the highest-paid woman of color in the history of TV. Reflecting on this achievement, Bassett shared her thoughts with The Guardian. "From the beginning of my career, I've said I want to work steadily and be paid fairly," she explained. "That's something we all strive for. When it happens, it's a win. And I hope it sets a precedent for equity for everyone coming behind me. That's what I truly hope for." Her influence extends beyond acting. Bassett has also contributed as a producer, helping to bring projects like the documentary series 1,000 Years of Slavery to life. Thanks to her long-standing success in both creative and executive roles, her wealth has continued to grow. As of 2022, Celebrity Net Worth estimated her net worth at $25 million. Some of her fortune has been invested wisely, particularly in real estate. She and her husband Courtney B. Vance purchased an exquisite home in Hollywood during the 1990s, paying somewhere between $772,000 and $1.3 million. Years later, in 2007, the couple listed their stunning estate in the exclusive Fremont Place neighborhood for nearly $6 million. A trailblazer in Hollywood, Angela Bassett's journey through Hollywood has been nothing short of extraordinary. It's a story marked by grit, grace, and groundbreaking performances. Despite numerous obstacles, from industry bias to emotional roles that demanded more than just talent, she has consistently pushed boundaries and elevated the stories of complex, powerful women. Her commitment to meaningful work and advocacy continues to inspire audiences around the world. What are your thoughts on Angela Bassett's remarkable career and the challenges she's faced along the way? Share your views in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this in-depth look at her life, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more powerful stories from Hollywood's most inspiring figures.